Have you ever felt it? That strange, uncomfortable sensation of being watched. Not glanced at, but studied. You walk into a place and suddenly the noise fades, the air thickens, every gaze turns toward you. Sometimes it's just paranoia, but sometimes it isn't. And in this 1886 painting, it is very real. Imagine this. You step into a tavern in Rome. You don't recognize a single face. Yet within seconds, three people look up and fix their eyes on you. Each stare feels different. So different that you don't know whether to smile, feel uneasy, or quietly leave. And then you notice something worse. Even the cat is watching you. The man twists in his chair, his face tightening with irritation, almost anger, as if you've interrupted something private, something unfinished. One of the women meets your gaze while calmly sipping her wine. Her expression is soft, curious, almost flirtatious. The woman beside her is different. She looks back at you with open contempt, cold, judging, mocking, and suddenly you wonder, what did we do to deserve this reaction from complete strangers? And how can a single painting make us feel this exposed? The work you're looking at is in a Roman Osteria, painted in 1866 by the Danish artist Carl Bloch. You may recognize his name. In the 19th century, many Nordic artists traveled south in search of inspiration. Rome was a magnet, ancient ruins, dramatic light, and the raw theater of everyday life. For a genre painter like Bloch, Roman taverns were perfect stages, loud, crowded, full of gestures, wine, and people pressed too close together. This painting exists thanks to Bloch's friend, Moritz Melchior, a wealthy Danish merchant traveling with him. Melchior wanted a souvenir, something Roman, something picturesque, to hang on his wall. He asked Bloch to paint a scene inspired by an Italian osteria scene by Wilhelm Marstrand, Bloch's former teacher. In a way, it was meant to be a tribute, but what Bloch created was something else entirely. Where Marstrand's tavern feels cheerful and harmless, Bloch injects tension, irony, and a sense that we've arrived at exactly the wrong moment. And it begins with the detail most people overlook, the white cloth covering the woman's head. It isn't a napkin, it isn't improvised, and it certainly isn't meaningless. In 19th century Rome, this was known as a panis, or fazolan, a headscarf traditionally worn by married women and sometimes widows. Bloch paints it with surgical precision, smooth, immaculate, not a single careless fold. This is a woman who is very aware of herself. Her long skirt, red blouse embroidered with gold, lace shawl, and gleaming jewelry all point to the same truth. She is married, respectable, and she does not welcome strangers at her table. That is why her stare cuts so deeply. Beside her sits the younger woman holding a glass of wine, and here the mood shifts. Her smile is subtle, controlled, but unmistakable. She meets our eyes directly, almost as if she's inviting us closer, just to see how far we'll go. Across from them sits the man. This is where the tension peaks. His brow is furrowed, his body rigid. One hand grips his fork tightly. From his pocket, a knife protrudes. His stare isn't curious. It isn't playful. It is hostile. And just when you think you've seen everything, you notice the cat, sitting calmly at the woman's side, staring at us with the same intensity as the humans. Its expression feels almost judgmental, as if even the animal disapproves of our presence. But Bloch isn't finished with us. In the shadows, at a second table, three more figures appear. Among them, Karl Bloch paints himself, seated quietly, observing. Next to him sits Moritz Melchior, the man who commissioned the painting. While we endure the stares at the main table, Bloch and his patron drink in peace, untouched by the tension that traps us. And that is the true genius of this work. More than 150 years later, it still unsettles us because Bloch does something cruel. He places us inside the scene, at a table where we are not welcome. Was the married woman seated beside her husband? Did we unknowingly cross a boundary? Is the smiling young woman a stranger, or the married woman's younger sister? Bloch never tells us. All we truly know is this: we are being watched, from the flies and bees hovering over the wine, to the tiny insects crawling across the tablecloth, feeding on spilled sugar, to the cat's silent judgment. Every detail pulls us inside the tavern, while reminding us we do not belong there. And that discomfort, that quiet, crawling unease, is exactly the point.